Hello, sexy souls. How's everybody doing? At a very impromptu reading, I felt like it today, which is odd because I have really been in hermit mode for quite some time, and have had resistance. And out of nowhere, like on the spur of anything, I was thinking I was going to go somewhere else, and I was like, ooh. And I have to right now. Like, I've got to take advantage when I feel inspired to do this. So, needless to say, I'm doing it. Hope everybody's doing well. I know I'm hit or miss, but you know what? I always say, look, it'll reach who it's meant to reach. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's all good. Like, I'm not concerned with keeping up with the Joneses as far as the tarot community goes. So, or really ever. Anywho, I hope everybody's doing fantastic. We're going to do a real quick coffee and tarot. So go ahead and grab your coffee, your matcha, your tea, whatever floats your boat right now, whatever your body needs. And let's sit down and see if there's a message for you today, okay? It's a gorgeous day where I'm at. I don't know about for you all, but it is gorgeous here. Let's get started. And it's so nice and quiet this morning. Well, my air conditioning unit comes on, but like it feels so... I don't know. It's not the kind that's unsettling either. It just feels good. Almost like maybe somebody's mind is nice and quiet this morning. You know what I mean? Those days where it's like the tension isn't felt inside of the mind. Or maybe that's what you're needing. You're needing a good reprieve from the brain activities. We shall see. So just as a disclaimer, I always remind everybody that there's no way that I can read for all 7 billion people on this planet. So therefore, we never Cinderella this to make it fit, okay? If you've got to jump through hoops, it probably ain't for you. If you've got to do all kinds of mind activity to make it seem like it's yours, it's probably not for you, and that's a-okay. Now, I do have colorful language, so if that's not your thing, I may not be the space in which you want to reside. Okay, so I heard no holds bar. Sorry, if I start talking, if I'm talking and then I stop and you're like it really is because something's coming through and I have to pay attention because some interruptive messages and stuff like that. No holds bar, like no holding back kind of thing. Is what it feels like. All right, so this is Madame Endora's fortune-telling deck. Jealousy leads to downfall. Medusa. Luck is changing. Surroundings go through a shift. This is a lot. I didn't think there was... Okay, is this one? Why does it feel like there's one? Your secrets are safe. Oh, these two are going together right here. When I was shuffling the deck, right, I had some messages coming through. It wasn't just this deck. I was going through and shuffling decks. And I think we'll probably be pulling this one. From this one, which is a Starman Tarot, we had like the Seven of Wands, or yeah, Seven of Swords. Let me get it for you. Here's all the cards that came out. Let me find the... Oh, I think oops. After that, I shuffled it. Shit. So on the Seven of Swords, which is kind of like... It can be one of two things, right? You needing to be in the right space, like positive mental preparation, and seeing things in the correct manner mentally in order to be able to maintain success of the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is kind of like that transition and that you've gone through and being in a place where you may have transitioned but others may have not, and so you have to kind of like position yourself to maintain this level of transition, right, that you've been through. whatever that may be for you. So, but in this particular one, there's a bunch of eyeballs all over, just staring and watching, almost as if to say, like, either deceptive individuals watching you, individuals that shouldn't be trusted, or that are maybe wishing for negativity for you, or kind of like, at least in their, like, watching you, kind of like casting doubt on whatever it is that you're doing, right? Like any level of transition, or any level of alchemy that's occurred in your life is, you know, they're waiting to see what's going to happen. It just feels like all, like, eyes are being on you during this process, and not always like in a positive way. And it's kind of like Seven of Swords was saying that you need to be able to position yourself to not focus on that, even if you understand and know that something like that is happening. If you feel like, so we, you know, like they always say, like, autism and ADHD and people who are neurospicy, right? Like it's the thinking of like the fourth wall, like something's always watching you, waiting for your failure, or waiting to see what you're going to do, or it's kind of like always feeling like you're being perceived. Thank you. So always feeling perceived, and it's almost having to move beyond that and position yourself in such a manner mentally that that's not a factor that dictates how you maneuver, what you do. Like it's the only real way to kind of like put you in a place of maintaining success and momentum and movement forward. Okay. So it's kind of like not giving a shit. That's the easiest way to say it, is not giving a shit, like truly, genuinely. And even if you realize that you are being perceived, or that people are watching you or scrutinizing you, or like there's something about visibility for you where there may be some moves that you have to take, and it's kind of like, these are not necessarily energies that are like cheering you on, we'll just say. Okay. Some people, honestly, like, they go through life and the only sense of satisfaction that they have in their life is being overly involved in somebody else's. It's like they can't live their own, and so they are constantly like, that's where they get their dopamine hits from, and that's where they get their sense of like, they gotta be in the know. This is why I don't like reality TV, because people are just, oh my God, like, you are overly engaged, promise, in your ego if your sense of satisfaction comes from watching somebody else in hopes of being entertained by struggle, failure. It's like watching somebody and be like, watch, this bitch ain't gonna be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that. So that's where Medusa comes from. And I just feel like there's this idea, or this feeling of, because your luck is changing, and like, again, winds of change, and your luck was like, there's a lot of like, wow, messages are going so fast. Because that's happening, it brings in a lot of trajectory changes, a lot of environmental changes. Like, it's going to be self-evident. It's going to be so evident to everybody else that shit's going in your favor. This isn't the kind of thing where it's like, oh, some stuff is going to happen backdoor. It's happening in a way where you can't help but be perceived by others, okay? And some people just don't like that. Like, if somebody gets their sense of like fun, and like they can always count on you to mess up, or they can always count on other people to entertain them, and to give them this false sense of either superiority, or like, oh, at least I'm not that. You know, it's like feeling okay with your life being a shit show because somebody else has got it worse. You know what I mean? It's that kind of energy. And some people don't realize to the extent that they indulge in that. They become like almost like obsessed with being the observer and being the witness to so much, right? That this is also like, I don't know why I'm getting family for some, where it's like family may be the ones that it's like, because their life isn't whatever, or it isn't how they perceived it would be, and so now they live vicariously through other people, right? And so you may receive heat from people when, like, they'll cheer when you do something that they feel reflects well on them or benefits them. But as soon as you do something that doesn't, or that they feel might be an embarrassment on them, or might be something to pull you, like, it's like, that's when there's a level of jealousy involved in that, okay? And it's that stance and mentality that leaves them in the space that they're in, feeling the need to, right? This is the essence of what we call energy vampires, where they can't sustain themselves. They're sustained through being able to feed off of the energies of others and what's happening in their life. There's something about someone like that maybe you've been, like, 'cause again, I had the Seven of Wands, you were afraid to be perceived, you were afraid to be seen, because somebody like this would just be waiting to say something, or waiting to, it's like, I get the energy of, like, people who think that we see this all the time on social media, where it's like, I'm going to reveal something of yours just to make you look like shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to reveal something and like, I can't stand for something to go well or good in your life, so I'm going to, like, put it out there. And here's the thing. People can genuinely believe in their mind that they are either a victim of, or like, why does so-and-so get this? Because I'm a good person, but they've done X, Y, and Z. Like, you cannot argue what good and bad are, because it's all subjective. It's based upon somebody's perspective, right? I have seen people do some very vile things because they felt like they were justified in doing such, thinking, saying, and it dictated how they lived their life, but they felt justified in it. You know, like they were doing the good fight, like they were doing the right thing because so-and-so is this, and there was no convincing them otherwise, right? In their mind, they're not this vindictive, vengeful, you know, negative, harmful person. They're you know, justified in whatever it is that they believe or see, and whatever they do is your karmic, whatever, you know, that kind of shit, right? And there may have been the idea of somebody, like, when I say secrets, it's almost as if it's like somebody that knows something about you, or somebody that has information on you, just kind of like revealing things and pointing things out. And we see this all the time. Again, on social media, people will go digging back just to find anything on somebody. And sometimes it's very legitimate. Like, there's some shit that comes out and it's like, whoa. But then people will try so hard to switch something up to be perceived by the public. You know, it's like this idea of, and this may not be anybody in particular in your life. This may be just knowing that this collective of people exists out there, and the desire to not even fucking deal with that shit, right? And in that, there's this holding back from finding your happiness because you don't want to deal with that shit. But it's almost as if it's like, I want to say that your secrets are safe really feels as if it's like whatever you, like, these people perceive could be used as bad. It's like, either one, it's not like anything that is said against you or highlighted about you is not going to cause you any harm, or whatever individuals think that they have on you, it's not going to do whatever they think that it is going to do. I also get that there are some people where it's like their level of jealousy has led to their downfall, and their credibility and worthiness of being, like, I don't usually say worthiness, but it's like, I want to say, like, it's not worth listening to, like their voice wouldn't have weight whatsoever if they were to say something against you. So it's almost like people thinking that they've got something on you, or you know, it just wouldn't have anything. It's not going to. So I'm getting that on these two right here. So let's go ahead and But book ending, and that's book ending. It's like, you don't have to worry. Like, there's changes that are happening. And some of these changes may be in regards to individuals that do this, or maybe it's a greater collective. Because I've seen a lot on social media where people are fighting back against this idea of, I can just cancel somebody out for something because it's taken out of context, or that somehow individuals should be X, Y, and Z, knowing that there's not a single person on earth that doesn't have shadows, doesn't have, you know what I mean? I think that, and don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people that I will never put my energy behind, because I don't agree with actions, I don't agree with their morals, I don't agree with, and I don't have anything to do with it. I'm not talking about that necessarily, but it is the idea of people get, like, we know that they exist. Y'all call them trolls, like to bring something or someone down. Now, this could be, again, this could be just in general, somebody having an issue with that in general, or, you know, just somebody specific in your life. So let's get in. Oh, son of a biscuit. Okay. I was like debating if I should put this out, and they're like, give it a shot. I'm like, okay. There's judgment. I think that's what it is. I think it's being worried about spending all of your time, or feeling like you're gonna have to fight someone trying to cast judgment on you, right? Or that like being perceived and being cast in a particular light, feeling like you need to fight against that. And I think that they're saying you don't. Like, whatever is about to transpire in your life, that is not something that should be a consideration in your mind, right? There's a lot of people that won't put themselves out there because they just don't want to deal with the bullshit of people. And it has nothing to do with, like, they actually have something to hide. It's just that humans just aren't worth it at times. I'm just going to be honest with you. Spiritual or not, there's a lot of humans that just aren't worth my time, my energy, and the expenditure of that. And so, like, and it may not mean the humans that aren't worth it. It's the whatever you want to put yourself out there for. Like, is it really worth all that shit? Like, I don't know if it is. And so I feel like they're saying, don't, like, you're worried about the chaos of judgments being passed against you. Again, whether it's personal people from the past, whatever it is. And we hear this frequently within the spiritual community, because this is a very pervasive thing, which is the reason why we see things play out in so many ways on social media, is because we are breaking free as a human race. And that breaking free, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's not easy, and it's not going to happen overnight. And so it's not something that it's just, we're going to wake up tomorrow morning, it's just going to be different, because it's not. But we do see a lot of dichotomy and this sense of choosing sides within society because of this, right? With the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups, it's almost as if it's like feeling like you have to be the Queen of Swords instead of the King of Cups. Like, I feel like these are two sides of the same coin. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Queen of Swords has her sword drawn. She's at the ready. She's not uncertain. She's real quick to cut things off. She sees things from a greater perspective, and is, as a result, very discerning within her mind. But can at times be almost too protective, she perceives a lot, right? Like, it's like, if I'm going to be perceived, I'm going to perceive first. I'm going to see things, potentialities, and I'm going to act according, right? And so, and this is a very protective stance. The Queen of Swords is that protective stance. Like, I wish a motherfucker would. I'll cut him off. I will eliminate any path in my way where I perceive X, Y, and Z to occur, or with the potentiality for it to occur. Problem is that leaves you in this, a state of constant battle and stagnation, the Hanged Man. Almost like there's always something to be, there's always a reason, something that keeps you stagnated. It's something that, this fight that you're fighting like that keeps you stagnated, right? King of Cups, on the other hand, he's a bit like the Queen of Swords, right? But he is open. He is vulnerable. He's in touch, because if you're too in the mind, you cut off that intuitive connection. You cut off the instinct, and you also act from that and not from your heart space. And so, but the King of Cups, he acts from the heart space. But King of Cups is notoriously known for not necessarily pouring his cup into anything. In fact, he doesn't, just because he is vulnerable and open and leads with his heart, does not mean that he leaves himself in a space of share. Like, we think that if we're open, that we're like some kind of beacon. He's really great at not, he has this stoic look to him. He doesn't necessarily share everything with everybody. Again, it's that discernment. There's a difference between being overly protective and discerning. You can be open and vulnerable and careful of when and where and with who that you share aspects of yourself. He doesn't show his emotions a lot. He only shares that with people that he deems, again, I don't like this word, but they're given to worthy. Worthy can mean whatever the fuck you want it to mean for you. That's not, you know what I mean? We all have our own understanding of words, despite whatever their quote-unquote Webster Dictionary definitions are. So Queen of Swords is that these are two sides of the coin of discernment. Do I take discernment from the stance that I am cut off, and that if it's not logical, if it's not that I go off solely based on what I perceive versus what I know to be true, what my instincts guide me to, trusting that intuitive sense of self and keeping the heart open as a result. Queen of Swords is notorious for not having her heart open. She leads with the mind. And at times that is necessary. He leads with his heart. But he's no fool. He wields his spiritual and emotional self very well. And he's able to navigate as a result. I'm not saying she's not ever necessary, but I think that to remain in her energy is where this, because we kind of have a lot of swords here, right? Like, oh, I was thinking of Seven of Swords. I put that back. So, but that idea of being perceived, meaning eyes, and what can result as of that, because you can't control. You cannot control how other people perceive. So therefore, it feels like I can't control what then happens to me. But I can tell you, he's the master of bobbing and weaving. His level of strength is unparalleled. King of Cups. So why are we bringing this out? Like, what is at the... Because the thing that's at stake here is ultimate joy and happiness and the experience of life. Being afraid to perceive leaves you in the state of always perceiving yourself. Like that is what the Queen of Swords is, the eagle eye view. She gets the greater picture. She sees all. She understands all. But that you have to do something with that. That is meant as that's when we're talking about, I feel like somebody just got stuck for a while in the idea of always perceiving and never experiencing. Like, you don't have to be, you don't lack strength because you allow yourself to experience things. You can be discerning and still have an open heart. Because staying in hurt, where you are always constantly in the mind, stuck looking at things from the 3D perspective, you don't experience anything. You don't ever... The heart space is where you experience this existence, and this existence is meant to be experienced. not just perceive. You can literally, and I don't know why they're giving me this. They're like, you can, if you wanted, all you wanted to do was perceive, you could have stayed within the spiritual dimension. If you only, like, if you wanted to perceive this existence, then you could have stayed in the spiritual dimension. Watch and perceive. But the whole purpose is to have the actual experience in and of itself. And so getting from one to the other is where Prince of Swords, that 180 change comes from. Because look how beaten and bruised and battered he is. That's from this level of stagnation and staying put and refusing to move forward is robbing you of all that experience. That is where your pain is coming from. Even if you don't recognize it, that's where the pain comes from. So there's this overcoming of whatever that fear is, to step out and be seen in whatever capacity that is for you. And let's find out some details about that. Like, in what area are they concerned to be perceived in? Like, I don't want people to witness me. I don't want people. It's just something about you can't control others and what they do as a result. And like I said, there is definitely people that you've encountered, whether this is just out in life and, you know, in general, if you do that, there's going to be nasty motherfuckers. Or if there's somebody very specific in your life, you're like, ugh. Which area of life are we talking about? Give me just a moment. Okay, we're going to do Hermetic Tarot. This is either going to be your spiritual self or your truest self. There's something that you don't want to act upon that you feel like the King of Swords, like, King of Cups, intuitively connected to. Because there's something that you just don't want to deal with. And so you are entrapping yourself. Silver Star, that, like in the Priestess of the Silver Star is what it's called in this deck. It feels like the North Star, and the North Star is usually about finding your divine path, your the path that's most highly aligned with who you are, right? It is the following the North Star home. But that puts you in a position of being the target, or so you believe, and it stops you from success. You're worried about. It's like if I actually do good, then people are going to come after me. And I know that it does seem like that is a major theme right now. And so that's where you feel afraid. That's why you don't really know if you want that. I with the Two of Pentacles, I get that's the choice here. It's like, I feel as if saying, like, good Lord, this is what happens when you take a break and you come back, and it's like trying to rush through, and your body's like, whoa, this is just like, is it worth it? I don't really know if it's worth it with whatever may come through. But we get this, that you're safe, all right? Like, even if somebody tries to paint you in whatever capacity, the wind beneath their sails will be wiped clean. Like, it'll be taken out. If people do this, I feel like there's a shift collectively in society where it's going to come back on them. And they will be seen. accurately and truly. And that whatever you feel whatever type of, and I also feel like, like this, you're like, I don't want to give access. I don't know why I'm hearing that. I don't want to give access to just a huge amount of people to me. And it's like, this has got to be slightly like career purpose type of path that we're talking about, right? It could be, I'm going to be honest with you, it could be love. Like, I don't know if I really want to be with this person because they're in this type of position. And I don't know why they're giving me like, let's say it's somebody that's like, this is an example, like somebody that's in the political arena and you're like, Jesus God, I don't want to touch that shit with a 10-foot pole, right? Like, I don't want to deal with all the bullshit of these stupid ass motherfuckers out here doing all kinds of like, and I get it. And it's kind of like, but the 10 of Cups, you are giving up. Like, King of Cups, do you put value into what they say? Are you able to just keep moving forward and not, like, half the time, I know people have said, like, I don't know what people say about me because I don't go looking for it, right? There's that, but there are also areas where it's like people will do whatever they can to make sure And in the world of where people are constantly outed, like, what is it called, doxing and shit like that, because somehow someone thinks, ooh, we got you, and it's kind of like, are you fucking, like, is it worth it? It makes it so that nobody wants to try. This could be just, I want to go and be an advocate and talk on the behalf of other, like, get out there and fight for peace and fight for whatever the fuck you want to do, like, change they brought up political for a reason, and you're like, why? People are vile. And it seems like so whatever you feel would make you the target of something. It's kind of like you're safe, right? Like, that's not going to be an issue. And maybe this is like what's stopping you. You're like, look, if you could guarantee me, Spirit, that I would be all right, then I'll do it. But I know people. But the fact that this is coming out where it's like, this is the era of people are going to go down for that. That's the same smoke and mirrors bullshit that's been going on in society for hundreds of years, and why governments are able to that's the gaslighting and stuff. Like they were able to hide behind the curtain. That's the wizard behind the curtain, where something is seen as a certain way, and it's like, people aren't going to get away with that anymore. Because if you want to try and pull somebody out, you better be coming, like, you better make sure you're not in a glass house, right? Like, I feel like collectively that's what's changing, and forced to see things accurately. There's no more coloring something a certain way and manipulating the information. That shit's changing, right? On a whole. And I feel as if Spirit's like, we're entering into the era where that shit will bring you down quicker than anything. And it's going to be seen, right? And you just don't want to fight the judgment of other people. You're like, fuck it. But that's where you're at. That is the choice, the Two of Pentacles. That is the choice that you have to make. I don't know if I want to go down that path and experience this level of success of something, because I don't want to fuck with these people. Like, I don't know if it's worth it. And that's part of the battle that's going on. So you're stuck in making this decision, this choice. Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all, we're obviously not taking all those cards, but we're going to go ahead and pull the last little bit. What area... let's put this over here. What do we want to say? What's left of what we want to say? Golden Universal. Y'all. This path has got to be something that just aligns more with who you are. And they keep bringing me to the fact that I keep getting like activist, right? Like, oh, people hate this. Oh my gosh. Anymore, these assholes who don't want to be held accountable will sit there and be like, these social justice warriors. Oh, you mean because what I say brings to light areas that, you know, like it brings to light things that people don't want to acknowledge. And so it's like fighting for what is right. Like even like this doesn't even like it, whatever path it is that you feel drawn to, it feels like it's a major target. Whatever path you feel drawn to, whether that the target is placed on you by family and friends or people from your past or society at large. Like, it's like, is it worth it? And so there's this choice to go down a path where you don't have to deal with that bullshit. But I just feel as if it's a whole new, like, choosing the path where that potentiality seemingly doesn't exist, does not bring you a whole new world. They're giving the whole new, it keeps you stuck, stagnant, hanged man. And it's going to keep you in this state of you always perceiving and therefore feeling embattled to do whatever you can to not be perceived. It is not a good place. Not a good place for you. Anything else, Spirit? Good Lord. It is. It is the thing that stops you. It is the thing that preoccupies your mind. It is the one reason. But change, oh, the Knight of, like, if you can overcome this, change will happen exponentially fast. I heard, yeah, right. On the other side of this decision, Two of Pentacles again, is exactly what you really, truly want and desire. This, whatever this is, it's really what you do want. And the only reason you would say that you don't want it is because of having to deal with the bullshit of others. Page of Wands is, this is a new lease on life, is what they're saying. It is your desire. You're right now choosing whether or not to follow your desire. Tell me more about the Eight of Wands. Things would change so swiftly for you. The winds of change. Your luck is changing. As long as you can get past and beyond the level of angst and anxiety, that mental locked up state. I want to say it's that level of, when we're talking about the King of Cups, I want to say I feel like you are in this state of not wanting to deal with that because you do love yourself. That you are in a place of a good emotional healthy state and you're not willing to fucking fuck with that again. And so for you, you may be positioning it in a light to yourself that I love me and I'm not going to do that again. I'm not putting myself in that because I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be protected. But in that is where you're doing it too much. Queen of Swords, doing it too much. You're too quick to cut things out that would be exceptionally good for you because of, again, the idea of being perceived. You've done the work. The fact that the Six of Swords, when before we got on Seven of Swords, the Six of Swords, it's like you've done the work to transition. All you have to do now is, and I think that's what you're questioning, do I really want to do whatever is necessary to protect myself? Seven of Wands is standing in your power, knowing your worth, and not letting other things influence that. Seven of Swords comes after that level of success. And I think that's what it is. It's not the success, it's what success brings. And success doesn't necessarily mean fame or money. This is the success of doing what the fuck you want and it actually working out in your favor and you loving your life, and people can't fucking stand that, right? This choice, Two of Pentacles, opens up, it brings about the change. Spirit wants you to get back into the space of not giving a fuck what other people think. Because as long as you're aligned with what's true for you and you're in integrity with yourself, that's all that fucking matters. This is what the Two of Pentacles is a choice of. And this is where the change will happen. Because I feel as if the Eight of Swords, this agonizing imprisonment has hurt you. Your thoughts have been the thing to oh God, they just said to hate your life. Like there's been points where you've hated your life. You've hated this existence. Oh no, my flower. I'm sorry. I like flowers. Anyways, that's caused you so much pain. It has caused you pain. And making this change will bring you joy. You will love life again. And I feel like who I'm talking to, you've been in that space where you didn't give a shit, where you didn't care how people perceived you. You were just whatever. And it's like, I think that something has happened to make you go to question whether like either somebody has really been like, somebody would try to tear you. Like, I don't know what battle you've overcome. I don't know what you've experienced. I don't know what tower moments you've come into. Or is it, if it's just you looking at the world as it is right now and you're like, I don't fucking know if I want to. But your happiest timeline, your happiest and most fulfilled is following your desire. And you're just letting this, I don't think I want to deal with it, get in the way of it. And that is what brings you that sadness. I just get this sense of excruciating sadness. Like the kind where, like, you know, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't think it's worth it. Not in the I would take myself, you know, but that energy of, I don't know. So, yeah, I hope this finds whoever it's meant for. But a lot can change positively. Just know that this is, things will align. The Eight of Wands is, all of these are going to the exact same, they're all in alignment. And they're moving swiftly. And if you're holding back, I'm just going to say, from speaking your truth, being you, because of the backlash or wrath that you fear will come, either one, you'll be vindicated, or two, anybody who comes up against you, you are on the right side. For somebody out there, I want to be like, you're on the right side of history. Like, just know that. Okay. All right. Hope everybody has a fantastic, wonderful day. And I will hopefully see you all again soon.